Nigerian police chief has warned Nigerian protesters aiming to launch a massive protest on the 1st of August, from the 29th to the 1st of August 2024. The Nigerian police chief says that the Nigerian protesters should not dare the Kenyan-style protest in Nigeria, that they will not tolerate any brouhaha, any cacophony, any hullabaloo. According to Nigeria's police force, or police chief, that's the IG, he says all measures will be put in place to keep the nation in peace. But the first question is, Mr. Police Chief, kidnappings is all-time high in Nigeria. We have not seen that police heavy force stop kidnapping. Insecurity is very, very high in the north, in the south, in the east. It's very high. But we are not seeing that heavy police crackdown that we want to use. Is it that the military and the police are on holiday? Or they will come out from their holiday when peaceful protesters move to the street? And Nigerian protesters also, they have said they no go grieve for anybody this year. That no amount of threat, no amount of intimidation, no amount of heavy military deployment will stop them from carrying out their protest. They said Kenya actually learned from what they did in 2020 during the EndSARS protest, and that the police should not compare Nigeria, the giant of Africa, with Kenya, that they can do better than Kenyan. And you know what Kenyans did. The Kenyans actually attacked their parliament and set part of their parliament on fire. So Nigerian protesters are saying they are going to do it theirs peacefully, which is in their constitution. So the police chief says he does not want to hear any bagam, any hullabaloo. Now, it should be noted that Tinubu has said this protest is being sponsored, or his government said this protest is being sponsored by some people in power, and some are accusing Peter Obi, who is innocent. Okay, Tinubu himself protested against Goodluck Jonathan. He himself led the protest against Goodluck Jonathan. Now he's president, he doesn't want protest. What is good for the gander is good for the Gandhis. Tinubu, sorry, you started it, and you have to taste your own side of the medicine. I want you to watch this video.
Will Nigeria witness Kenya-style protests against the government? That's the question that is being asked in the West African nation. The country's police chief has issued a warning after irate citizens called for demonstrations on August 1st against poor governance and cost of living crises on online platforms. The protests could pose a big challenge to Nigerian President Bola Tinubu. According to reports, Nigerians are taking inspiration from young Kenyans whose protests forced the government to make a U-turn on tax hikes. They're now using X and Instagram platforms to call for peaceful protests from August 1st. And the latest is over 66,000 Instagram posts and Instagram accounts have been shut by the government. Like other African nations, Nigeria is grappling with its worst economic hardships in a generation. Trouble began after President Tinubu removed some petrol and electricity subsidies and sharply devalued the naira. This resulted in soaring prices of food and displacement of farmers. The last big protest in Nigeria was witnessed in 2020. This was a demonstration against policy brutality in October. The protest ended in bloodshed. More than 100 people died and dozens were injured. Demonstrators blamed the casualties on soldiers and police who denied using live rounds. According to reports, Nigerian protesters, under the theme "End Bad Governance in Nigeria," are seeking to force the Nigerian government to reverse petrol and electricity price hikes, declare a state of emergency on inflation, offer free education, among other demands. Meanwhile, ending months of wrangling between the Nigerian government and labor unions, on Tuesday, lawmakers passed a bill to more than double the minimum wage to $44.16 a month. Nigeria's Inspector General Police said peaceful protests were allowed under the law, but planned action was designed to foment trouble. And for more on this, our correspondent Louisa Olaniyi has sent us this report from Abuja.
Nigeria seems to be divided as agitators under various guises and umbrellas continue to press for a mass protest on August 1 across the nation, with others pushing for a solidarity walk in support of the government. However, authorities have warned against sinister motives underlying the protest demands. The protest tagged "End Bad Governance in Nigeria" seem to have gained momentum on social media from the effect of Kenyans. The police chief has warned against a Kenyan-styled protest, urging agitators to protect their country rather than tearing it apart. Nigerians are still grappling with the effect of the EndSARS protest of 2020 and do not wish for a repeat of such that ended in bloodshed, loss of properties, and bitterness that lingers to date. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olani, WION, World is One.